is not just somebody just being erratic. Yes, that is part of his personality. But listen, this is a part of the plan.
Always
It's a part of the plan. And it has been for years. This is not just, 45,
Right.
45th term. It wasn't just that. This happened years ago. This is something that has been building for years. So if you can't see it, when Nick just said, talk about going back and looking at the facts, really go back and look at the facts. Look at the history of this country and look at who's running things. We've really got to start paying attention.
Well, if we make the mistake of putting this person, I'm gonna have to go to another country. This one is serious, but if this doesn't work out,
because Project
you better be careful.
Serious.
You better be careful. You better know what's that. What you're up against. This is not worth.
Listen,
this is not worth. And I'm gonna say this, and I know y'all gonna get me for this one. This is not worth him being able to represent you as with just a little bit of who he is in color and who you think he would do for you in terms of economics. A lot of people are still on his side because of economics. But if you study economics, the truth of the matter is, under his administration, the only reason inflation was the lowest was because of the things that Obama put in place.
All right, let's talk to our people for a second, because they have some misconceptions out there. He did not give you a check. That Trump check y'all talked about in 2020, that wasn't him, because he was against it. He said no multiple times. You're lucky that you had a blue house a blue Senate that made some things happen. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about that check you got at the beginning of his term when he made the tax breaks. Yeah, if you worked for a Fortune 500 company, you may have gotten a little bit more in your paycheck for two times. That's all that happened, to make up the money, because they had to reach a threshold to now get the tax breaks to save them millions, if not billions. Trump did not do anything for you. He did things for his pocket and his party's pocket.
Absolutely.
And yeah, you guys think that we got something great, but I'm sorry. He fought against us getting a stimulus check.
That's right. That was not his doing.
That was not. So everyone who goes, well, we got checks under Trump, you won't get it again unless we get into another pandemic and he's in charge who doesn't know how to actually handle the situation. That will be the only way you get another check.
Boom.
Now,
this
is why I said I need to
along, right? Moving along on these hot topics. So, actually, before we do, everybody get out and vote. Today
is National Voter Registration Day. Please check your state's limits when you have. I know most of us are in the Northeast. We have until October in a lot of our states. Please register and vote. I'm not asking you to make a decision today. We are telling you just to get out there and vote. And if you need some vote information, go to vote.org. That is a neutral place. You're not seeing any political driven stuff. It is just the information you need to get out there and vote. It is so important. So important. And if you care that much, then volunteer and help.
I got to turn my fingers. It looked like I was giving y'all a finger.
Yeah, that other one was like kind of a little twisted.
That finger was for 45.
Okay.
And moving right along. Remember that disclaimer that we played, everyone. So now, listen, I'm going to let my football fans talk about the concussions in the NFL. So I'm going to say, take it away, Dr. Melissa.
Okay.
That's so sad.
As a matter of fact, I've followed Tua. Tua is the quarterback for the Miami Dolphins. Quite talented quarterback. Last year, for a lot of last season, they was at the top of their league.
Was he one of your picks?
He's on a great team. He is on a quarterback for a great. The people around him make him great.
Great team.
And when that being said, by himself, he ends up on the ground.
Well,
every
the year before, he unfortunately, not last year, the year before, he unfortunately had 2 major concussions, to the point when he fell to the floor. You actually saw his body, for lack of a better word, convulsing. So a lot of times when these players get concussions, the most you see is maybe them, a little dizzy or kind of stumbling. Yep. He was actually, the reactions of the brain was considered a lot more severe because of what you actually saw him twitching and convulsing.
He lost ability to control his body.
To control the body. So he went under concussion protocol 2 years ago for a number of games. He did not come back. And then he finally did come back. And then last season he played. Last season he had no incidents with the concussion. So he's now back for another year. Here he is in the second game of the season, last Thursday night. Why do I know? Because I picked Tua on my fantasy team. Tua's on my fantasy team, and I'm expecting, go ahead, Tua, do your thing. And unfortunately, in the fourth quarter, he was hit, and this is the irony of it. He was hit by Damar Hamlin.
Damar Hamlin, yeah.
Who, if you remember last year,
2 years ago as well.
2 years ago also, he had the life-threatening cardiac arrest on the field.
Exactly.
So how ironic is that this is the guy who hits him? But it was not a unusual hit. It was not something that looked like, oh my God, it looked like a typical hit. So Damar Hamlin didn't do anything wrong. And actually Tua, because he's a quarterback, you are supposed to slide.
I was about to scream. Slide to a slide.
Slide to a slide. So he was supposed to slide. But no, he wants to get, they was trying to get back in the game. So he decides to run. And then he, as opposed to sliding, decided to go in first to fall with his head, trying to get more yardage.
But he actually you saw the tilt. When the hit happened,
saw the tilt.
It was really one of those. It was one of those hits because I was watching it on Red Zone, right? Yeah, it was during the day. It wasn't a night game. Yeah, I was watching it on Red Zone, and it was one of those plays.
No, it was a night game. This is a night game. Okay. Thursday night.
Thursday night. Yes, I'm sorry. So I was watching it Thursday night, and I remember when they cut after the hit, it was one of those hits that they wouldn't keep on replaying because the way you saw.
Now the night they did play,
social media, it's all over there.
Repeat it. But what's worse is the walk off. Now the part you guys said about how he lost bodily functions. He was twitching
when
again. He walked off this time. There was a hesitation. I had to Google it the other day. There was a hesitation in his steps that, like, he was unsure if the ground was under him when he took the next one. As they're walking him off, he walked off himself, but there was such hesitation in his steps. I was like, wow, that's a bad hit. And I'm reading at the bottom, oh, this is the second time, but I didn't know it was a third hit like that. This is the second time.
It was going Tua. It was the second time. It was the second time his body reacted in that way, where you see his hands cramping and making weird movements. He can't really control how the rest of his body moves. And it's sad because my roommate, one of my former roommates who I hang out with all the time is a diehard Dolphins fan. He goes to games. He lives in Connecticut and goes to 2 or 3 games a year. So he has a game he's going to later on in November, and he goes, I don't want to see Tua on the field. Like, the fans are saying, yo, we don't want you to play anymore. This is scary. This is like we slide to a slide. Well, you're not doing it, and we're seeing you lose your life. CTE is real.
Yeah,
it is.
When you have your first, right, and then you continue to play, you're not allowing yourself to repair. Like, your body's not restored, so it just escalates, and it just gets worse.
And the brain is not one. Brain. The brain is not one to
forgive.
Restore. The brain is not one of those organs that rebuilds, that will rebuild itself. When certain brain functions are lost, they are lost. So, and let's make every player, if you're playing, they take hits. Right. So it's not like this is not happening. However, clearly the hits he's taking now is you can see the damage of the hits every time now.
Yeah, but he's already suffered so much, right?
He's already suffered.
Yeah.
And and I understand you love the game, but I'm hoping that this is my hope, is that the NFL steps in. The NFL needs to make their own policy that if we decide that this is what we're going to do, then you can't play. Mm-hmm. I mean, he already has $100 million guaranteed. So this is not a money issue for Tua. I'm not in his pockets. I don't know what he may have committed to, but I'm saying there's at least the understanding that we have guaranteed you $100 million. Because a lot of times, let's be clear, a lot of times these players are playing without guaranteed money. So their need to play, meaning this is how the next 5 years I'm going to do this, and I'm set for the rest of my life. If that's the commitment, this is they're looking for that guaranteed money. He has guaranteed money, so financially you could just make an assumption that you should be decent. That being said, it's like nobody wants to see this happen again. Because the question becomes, what's the next hit going to look like?
And how
is he going to get up from the next hit? Yeah. Nobody wants to see this. The whole country, even non-football players, when Damar Hamlin went down, the country reacted to the point where we was like, oh my God, is that young man okay? And we don't forget that. We don't want to see this again. No. Nobody's watching these games to see somebody get hurt. Mm-hmm. And I think this is where everybody's at.
So it begs the question, and maybe, this is not today's show, but it begs the question, what needs to change in the game so that people are not getting hurt? These players are not getting hurt as much.
What question? I love it. I'm writing that down. Producer Nick back in writing that down.
That was good, but they have, if you notice, you wouldn't notice because I know y'all don't watch football like that, but during preseason,
Shima was dressed
they have developed a new helmet that a lot of people were wearing during preseason. Yes. Right now, the only player that has, I shouldn't say only, from my knowledge, last week, the only player that was wearing it was Jabril Peppers.
It's called the Guardian helmet, and there's an extra level of padding, padding that you're putting on top of the helmet. So it looks weird from the outside, but it's supposed to cushion that reaction in your head.
Blow. And only one player, and I think this is also for me an issue. Again, you saw, and I remember during preseason, I said, wow, what that's a new helmet they came out with? I thought it was this new fashion statement. And Lamont said, no, that's the new Guardian helmet. I said, wow. And thinking that would now come through on the regular season. Nobody's wearing it.
It doesn't look good. I think that's what it is.
Look, Jabril, we know you, Jabril. Jabril, you keep on wearing that thing so that your career and your life
still extends past maybe football. That translates to other players, right? They can't worry about what looks good. We can't listen, I'm not a football fan at all. I like the game. I'm not a fan though, right? But you can hardly see the players anyway. They're wearing helmets anyway. Like
half the time I don't know who made the actual play. You see a number.
Exactly. If you don't know their number or their name's not on the back of the jersey,
fashion statement, right?
Right. Forget the fashion statement. We need them to continue the game, right?
And that's the stance you want them to take. Like you said, when do they make changes? Yeah. If you've created this option to protect me more, make it mandatory.
Yeah,
I would totally make it mandatory for anybody who has gone through concussion protocol already.
No,
if you have gone through any kind of concussion protocol, you should be required to wear that helmet.
I think everybody should be, quite honestly.
I agree.
They all should be.
I love that.
And I don't think it looks any different. It just looks more padded.
But I think that's where it's like a big sock that goes over your helmet. But like at the end of the day, I want Tua to be okay. He's at minimum, they announced today, he's out at least for 4 games. He has said that he's not retiring anytime soon. So I understand my mom's sentiment.
He's so stubborn.
I understand he loves the game. And I guess we can end it there, right? When you love the game, sometimes that's his life. He thinks in his head, if he can't play the game, he doesn't have his life.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I agree with it, but that's what it gives. And I want him to have the best recovery. I want him to be okay.
Yeah.
It's sad to see it. And we want him to have the best, but I think the best thing is what the fans are saying is someone needs to step in now.
Yeah, they
need and we're waiting to see who is going to be.
Yeah. And I'm going to say this, and I have to big up my nephew because he's a football player, right? But what happens to the next generation? And this is one of the reasons why I'm bringing up my nephew. But I want to give you guys his stats because I got to big up my nephew here.
Oh, I like stats.
His name is Patrick Randolph. This was his last game stats. He's a freshman playing varsity, first of all. Boom. Ring the bell on that one.
Yeah, get a bell. Where is it?
That's right. Ring the bell for my nephew.
Here we go.
So for the last game, he carried the ball 13 times for 207 yards. He made 4 touchdowns. They beat the other team 34-0, and on defense, so he plays both. And then on defense, he made 11 tackles. Boom! We got to give it to Patrick Randolph.
Oh, so he's trying to be in the NFL.
Yes.
Yeah, because we need these regulations and we need the safety standards.
That's right.
We need to fix that. Because now we got family and we got loved ones involved. No, we're not doing that.
That's right.
Are we going to move on to this last hot topic?
Oh, yes, we are. And I think we may have to take the other topip. Our
theme for tonight, this is going to take some time.
This is going to take some time.
Do we go to break first?
Let's take a quick break.
All right, let's do it.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Let's bring everybody in because we're going to get into this next hot topic. Woo-hoo. All right. For all of you who may not know yet, Sean P. Diddy Combs is in jail. He was taken into the federal county connection with an alleged sex trafficking investigation. It says that he's now been charged with sex trafficking, racketeering, and prostitution charges. So he is alleged to using his business in kidnapping, arson, bribery, and more. So that's not all. But during the raids on Diddy's homes a few months back, if you all remember, he had multiple items that were seized and evidence found, such as weapons. And we're not going to list them, but photographs, they called them freak-offs. And 1,000+ bottles of baby oil and lubricants and IV drips. So tag, go ahead, Nick.
Last night we were watching a football game. Mm-hmm. As soon as a football game, and we were in it as a family all watching. As soon as it ended, I looked over at my mom because I opened up my phone. I go, Diddy is in jail. Mm-hmm. When we woke up this morning, there was more details out there. I go, I don't have enough yet to really do my deep dive. Mm-hmm. He was in a meeting from 10 o'clock to 3 o'clock today. In the middle of the meeting, my phone's going off. The trial the sentencing has started. Things are out, and I'm losing it because I can't follow. We got in the car home. I had a nice 2-hour ride home. I read the entire indictment, all the charges and all the evidence brought against that man. I read that entire document for those 2 hours. Because I'm going to start this off with what I am not going to continue to live in a place where we give people excuses, where we give people a pass to be the most despicable, disrespectful, bad acting human beings in this world. And thinking because you have $1 in your pocket, a couple dollars in your pocket, everything else, that you are going to get away with abuse, with sexual assault, with antagonizing, with intimidation, with arson, with attempted murder comes with the arson. Let's talk about it. This man is evil. And the fact that he was a god in the Black community for years is sickening. Allegedly.
And Dale Bail has been denied.
Yes.
So Bail has been denied. Yes. That is not often that they're going to deny bail for a.
Did you see what he offered up for bail? He offered up his $58 million home as a constitute for his bail. Oh, it's not about the money. My home is up for grabs. So if I run, if I do this, if I do that, you can take my home. Bro, you're never going home again.
You're never going home again.
So we don't care about your damn house.
No, go get your roommate.
I am, as a Black man, I'll say this, as a Black man in this country who used to look up to Diddy, who watched all the making of the bands, who listened to every album drop, who was proud to say, oh, Diddy's our first Black millionaire. Diddy's going to do something for the community. I feel like a fool. Because how dare I elevate your platform, and we know what your platform actually is now.
Well, I think with the last few minutes, like we talk about a lot of stuff backstage, and today we were talking about, where a lot of it comes from. And I'm glad you started off with giving them a pass for, making excuses for. And my term was, it's entitlement. I do what I want because that's what I want. And I've never heard, now because Dr. Mimi and I were talking about what has happened to him younger. I don't know. I have never in all this time heard of anything that happened to him. And I guess I better say allegedly, even though we put the Fem Talk disclaimer up. But I've never heard of any of that. But even if it was, and that is not our business or mine.
That's right.
This is my opinion, Fem Talk. I feel like what you chose was, I'm going to do anything I can to get this label. I'm going to do anything I can to get this record deal, to get this person to sign with me. And that included all the stuff you did that require you to have 1,000 bottles of oil in your arsenal. So you choose to do all these wonderful things so that you can get where you are, and then it spiraled. You continued. It's fun. I got away with it. Now I have money.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna keep doing it. And I'm gonna do it to everybody. And I'm gonna include everybody.
I'm gonna do it to everybody.
In fact, that you have government officials saying freak off. Yes, Tracy.
Tap you in. I'm tapping you in.
Tap me in, please. Okay, first of all, I'm gonna start my conversation here on stop selling your soul to the devil, because I think it's so much bigger than what you just said, Shima. Even though I agree with what you said. I agree with what you said in terms of a sense of entitlement. But this is what was required of you. Yep, I said it. It's my opinion, and I'm gonna put it out there. This is what was required of you. That whole business, racketeering, trafficking, that's a setup. That's a setup for you to be put up and elevated. I'm sorry. Stop selling your soul to the devil. You chose this, and you knew exactly what you had to do to get there.
And you said, yes, I will do it.
On Club Shay Shay, you better go back and watch it, because some things have been confirmed that we all have been talking about for years.
I did not lie
to the devil for power and money. And this is that he didn't. This is not new for him. He pissed somebody off, and now he's the scapegoat. Now it has to be, because certain things started coming out about him, and so the whole operation won't go down. He's the scapegoat, and he's got to pay. I'm sorry, y'all. Go, Dr. Melissa. But we need to be real about these things. It's not one individual doing these things. It's not. No. And everybody needs to.
It's not one individual, but I don't believe he's so much the scapegoat. He is the ringleader. This guy has I believe he's one of the ringleaders. I don't believe he's a scapegoat for some. There's other people.
He is. I know. I don't believe there's people. There's people higher. There's
people, but he ain't a
but
scapegoat.
he enjoys what
that's right. He gets off on this.
I agree with that. I agree with that part. I agree he gets off with it because he signed up for it.
I tell you who the scapegoats are.
He signed on the dotted line. He signed up for it. But he's not the ringleader. He is not.
But he got bigger and better at it because he enjoyed it.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
I think some of the people.
I agree.
I think some of the people that he got now, he has got people caught up. And he has created some scapegoats in this
allegedly.
But I want to bring up something else because I got an issue with 2 years ago. Here go BET giving him a Lifetime Achievement Award, and in my humble opinion, this information has been out for more than 2 years. If we go back a few years, a lot of people was talking about these. This was not rumors because guess what? Allegedly, people. Ask Cat Williams. If we could quote the cat himself, he said, "Oh, this is already out there." He had already told you what was out there, and this was allegedly going on for years. So I have an issue with how BET all of a sudden 2 years ago decided, "Oh, we're gonna give him a Lifetime Achievement Award." This man has manipulated so many different people, and I bet he manipulated BET also to make sure he get it. I have no doubt.
BET. Who purchased BET?
Tracy, say it. Tracy, say it. Say the whole truth.
I'm on the show.
I want people to wake up. I want people to wake up.
Who? I'm sorry. I'm gonna say allegedly. There's some people that we have looked up into this black community, in the church, in the entertainment industry. Who all y'all about to hear some things about that y'all not ready for, allegedly.
Not ready for. And let me tell you something. All of those videos that they took, it was disgusting. As Nick was telling me the different things that was in this indictment, it was absolutely. And I actually do feel bad for the minors that was part of this process with him. Mm-hmm. And this is
that are full on adults now with this life that they were taught.
They were taught
right.
There was three people. I mean, there's more than three.
We can't. Let's not.
Allegedly, there was three very serious kids that now are adults that was given as mom said herself. She gave her son to Diddy, thinking that Diddy was going to do her son right. And what I feel bad about, this is what I feel bad for because he got charged with prostitution and sex trafficking. The reason why it's both is because some people willingly went into these freak offs, but some people were coerced into it.
That bothers me. That the U.S. Attorney General has to speak on freak offs on a national stage. What the hell is a freak off? What?
That is one thing. We ain't ready to see those tapes.
And that now is that's the title, right? When you see the news clips come out, right? When I get the notification.
Baby oil. Johnson was trending today because of baby oil. Because he had 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricants in his household. His household, where he lives. The same thing that he offered up as, bail collateral is the same place where he conducted.
I'm going to give you my freak off location.
With his 5 kids. He lives with 5 kids, right? And adopted child. 5, right? Five children. Yeah. This was going on for years with the kids up in the house.
And this is
allegedly.
Yeah.
This is that. It's reading that indictment. I think my mom and my dad saw the emotions. I was angry. And we talked about this. Like, as a Black queer man, I've seen a lot. I've dealt with a lot. I've been hurt. So to see someone so cavalierly abuse and attack, and more specifically Black men, Yeah, the information I get or I'm seeing about you attacking other black men is disgusting. It is literally one of the I wanted to know everything because I've like those survivors, like, and that's where I wanted to say is those survivors don't deserve to have their lives publicized now.
Yeah.
But this is, if you realize, this all I said this earlier, all this Diddy come up and all this information started when Kim Porter died because people had questions then. Mm-hmm. Allegedly, things didn't make the most sense when she died. And that's where the racketeering charges come in. But you think about when Cassie came out and you denied everything. You shamed this woman. You went high and low to tell that she is one of the worst women ever. She's extorting me for money.
Sounds familiar, right?
And then we get proof that you abused her.
Yeah.
And now it's I was dealing with stuff. At that BET award, you thanked her for dealing with you during your darkest times. You gave her a shout out knowing that she has nothing to do with you.
You thanked her for,
if you want to be honest, if he never did that BET Awards, I don't think we would be in this position right now because she came out hurt because he mentioned her name.
Well, how dare you? How dare you abuse, misuse,
never said
beat me, and then gonna go on the world stage and pretend that you're gonna thank me after you beat me.
I held you down.
That was to pacify the situation. He tried to.
And that him getting that recognition ruined his life because all his darkness came to light.
People said, "No, you're not doing that. You're not doing that to me." You know, thank God for the women and like you said, the victims that have endured him. And the sad thing, and this is the sad thing. Hundreds. Now, this is the sad. There's a lot of sad things about this.
Hundreds.
The sad thing is that, like that mom said, people trusted him to create for their dreams to become a singer, to become an artist. People trusted him and he gave him false hope that if you stick with me, I will get you where you want to go. We saw TV shows about what he would do to make people a star or an artist, competition shows, and to think that all of that was a farce,
was avenue
to supply his alleged sexual predilection.
I'll say this: the fact that he had the nerve to change his name to Love. That's all I have to say about that one thing. The fact that he thought he had the ability to change his name to Love, because that's who he was. That's what he gives off. That's what I'm doing.
Love. What? He thinks who he is. He thinks who he is. It's entitlement. I did it. I got away with it.
I mean, that's bigger than entitlement.
Yeah,
that is so much bigger than entitlement.
It's a sickness. It's not even.
You can't be the devil behind closed doors and try to pretend that you're God in front in open public. Mm-hmm. That is crazy. It
turned into a sickness, or it could start out as a sickness, but it was, I'm entitled to do this, and I'm gonna. And now I like it, so I'm doing more.
And intimidation. That's the part that
I'm only get emotional. Maybe I shouldn't, but I always am. You felt like you could, and you did. You got away with it, and nobody could touch you. You were so good at covering it up and hiding it, so you continue, and it kept feeling good.
He thought he would never get caught.
Kept doing it, and it becomes he's a man. And I this is not to disparage men, because y'all know I love the men, but that is a man's makeup. You guys are hunters, and your drive is different from ours.
Are you sure? They were. I'm not sure about today.
Yeah, listen,
I saw a meme once, and it goes, "Men used to hunt."
Yeah, well, they don't do it as much as they used to, but that's what your makeup is.
That's another conversation. That's episode 3.
So in his mind is, oh, I did that. Let's see what else I can do.
It's a crave for power. You know, I'm a big believer that power is one of the biggest driving force out there amongst people. And a lot of people think it's money. A lot of people, you know, a lot of people think it's money or attention. It is power. Power. People crave power. And once you get a taste of it, you want more. And this is what that, you know, when you really pull it all together, this is a man obsessed with himself, obsessed with the power he had over people, and obsessed with the ability to do what he think he could do to anybody.
Oh my God, who does that sound like?
Here's the thing, right? It's all a false sense of power, right?
False sense, yes.
You've been given, you know, this little thing. I'm making this orange, you know, everything was dangling for you, right? And you thought you were protected, right? So that's where the false sense of power comes from, because you're protected. So you're in this world now. You can do exactly what you want without any consequences until the consequences come down on you. And you know, I'm not gonna say what I think the reasons are, but listen, that's how it goes. And he subscribed to it and he loved it. Just like she said earlier.
Don't be upset now.
He subscribed. I'm telling you, this is so much bigger than Diddy, y'all. It's so much bigger. It's so much bigger. And I'm not saying that. Listen, he's in jail because he should be in jail. He's in jail because I believe allegedly he did all those things, right? That's not
everything someone has said. He's done
should be there because you subscribe to all of this and you liked it and you wanted it, and for that power and for that money, for that power that you thought you had, and for that money, you subscribe to all of this.
I'm sorry.
So you're where you need to be right now.
What's her name? Audrey Day from Day 26. Remember, she was on Diddy's show Making the Band. The moment she left, and I can say this unallegedly, the moment she left that organization, she has been one of the biggest
screaming that thing,
screaming from the mountaintops that this man is evil, that he is hurting people, and the light will one day show. I'll be honest, I pulled it up. Let me find it. She made a post today.
She's somewhere right now kicking her heels.
She made a post, and
you know.
Well, yeah, say what you got to say as I pull this up.
No, I was gonna say, you know, I want to hear what she said, because it's not like, you know, I told you so. It was she rung that bell to say, would you get him? He is destroying people's lives over and over. He is hurting people. He's allegedly a lot of things. And if somebody don't listen to me, that's like you know, her attempt was to save other people.
Okay. What she said today was, the purpose of justice is to provide an ending and allow us the space to create a new chapter. Women get this. Women never get this. I feel validated. Today is a win for women all over the world, not just me. Things are finally changing.
See? I mean, when you yourself as a woman have been abused, or just anybody, when you have been abused, when you get out of that abuse, you don't want nobody else to step into it.
Yeah.
And you will fight everyone in the process.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And no one would listen to her.
No.
And woman after woman went in after that.
Yeah. And they made her just seem disgruntled.
Like she was a nut. He made her seem like
she's mad. She didn't get the money. That the band didn't work out. Like they discredited her to a check amount.
Yeah. Yeah.
Instead of hearing to hearing the voice behind the woman speaking. Because if you hear what she said for all these years, she was hurt. She was in pain. She was struggling.
Don't that sound familiar?
What this man did to her.
Yeah, and just like that man running for president.
My mom said it earlier. Why would y'all give this man the BET awards? And one thing I said was, our community knew what Diddy was doing for years, but it was a joke because no one ever came out and said the truth. Everything was a whisper and a thing. And now that the truth is out there, we're ashamed of what we supported for all this time.
R. Kelly?
If they're the two, I'm sorry, put him, R. Kelly, and Bill Cosby in the same cell. You have three evil men.
Hold hands.
Hold the space for 45 now.
Yeah.
Oh, we can have a full dorm room.
Let's get it straight, because he done got convicted too.
Just like.
But I want to take 45 out because I mentioned three black men in our community that we've heard stuff about our entire lives, and we denied it. We denied the R. Kelly rumors. We denied the Bill Cosby stuff.
Oh, they really wanted to deny the Bill Cosby stuff.
We denied the Diddy stuff, and we're sitting here now, like, damn.
Found it.
Yeah.
Like, really?
Bamboozled.
Really, y'all are that
like
evil.
Always.
Y'all are that like it's evil. Yeah. Like I don't have another word for it because I've experienced something like that. It's evil.
Yeah.
And when you listen to the outcries, it's look what they doing to Diddy. I'm sorry, what?
If I hear his lawyer say one more time, shut up. He is not free of guilt. He did it. You lied when he said he never touched Cassie, and we got a video of that. I don't believe anything coming out of your mouth, his mama's mouth, his daddy. I don't. Everyone, shut up and go to jail.
Right.
Yeah, everyone. This has been another episode of Fem Talk, a very passionate episode of Fem Talk. We love you all. I'm just going to say to all of them out there, stop selling your souls to the devil. We will see you all next week right here on Fem Talk at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.